All right, sir, let's delve straight into this conversation. And we left at talking matters, improving the cost of living in this country and probably the author of that particular problem. For this particular edition, let's start from the point of political affiliation, literally dictating where development carols are going to be dangled upon. And more particularly, the president is coming from Rift Valley. His deputy is from the central region. Would you say that going forth, it shouldn't be a case that now that Simba Arati is not in Kenya Kwanza, then roads cannot go to Kisii unless they are first going to Nyeri or to Eldoret? Where do we now draw that line that henceforth political affiliation should never dictate development agenda of a country and region?
I think we are in the 20th century. More than that, we have a constitution that limits the power of the president. The president today cannot be what Jomo Kenyatta or Daniel Moi were. And Kibaki put it very clear to us and told, ladies and gentlemen, fellow countrymen, the role of the president is very limited. There's nothing the president carries on his back to bring to anybody. Development is a matter of, and a product of planning. What we do must feature in our development plans. Immediate, mid-term, and long-term, and vision this and the other, and millennium development goals, whatever they are called, all those kind of things inform what we do as a country.
I see.
If there's any lobbying as to fast-tracking a project, as to diversion, as to increasing the funding and the scope, all these things is done through the available institutions and means, including parliament.
I see.
So why is the role of the president? But now, sadly, we have gone back where Kibaki had gotten us from. People are kneeling before the president and asking for things which even the president doesn't have. The president has no power to give you a road. Or a job for that matter.
Or a dam.
Or a dam. There's nothing the president, just like any other Kenyan, any other leader, can try to convince those that must be convinced that a road should pass somewhere. It should be of a certain standard as opposed to another standard. It's just a suggestion to convince, for example, parliament or the body involved or in charge of that. But we have gone back full circle.
And you need to get out of that.
It is so sad that people in this day and age think the president can give them goodies. And the president seems to be encouraging that and most likely enjoying it. He's just laughing at the end of the day in State House.
Right, sir. Well noted and very well put out there. This year we saw the Guardians at the gate, the Kenya Defense Forces, make their maiden entry into DRC Congo in a bid just to foster regional peace and help a country because it's the effort and initiative of the East African community. We've seen many castigate the entry of KDF into Somalia. Now we are crossing borders, getting to DRC Congo. Tomorrow it could be another country. We don't know which one. And billions of shillings are being spent therein at a time when the country is facing drought, famine, and people saying that we're actually borrowing so much to facilitate our budget. Would you say that the initiative to go into DRC Congo was noble enough, or perhaps we could have just shelved that not as a priority for Kenya?
I have no idea why we are in the DRC, so I don't want to talk about things I don't know. I know why we are in Somalia, and it's for the wrong reason.
Wrong, you say?
And even if it was a good reason, we have overstayed in Somalia. I have never supported Kenya's stay in Somalia because it doesn't make sense to me. In fact, international diplomacy and all known protocol and peacekeeping thinking really dictate that neighboring countries cannot be part of peacekeeping forces. So we cannot be a peacekeeping force in Somalia. This is like an invasion. For DRC, I'm yet to understand what we are doing. What are we doing there? The issues of DRC are major. And they cannot be solved by giving troops to DRC. No. What is the role of Rwanda in the issues of in DRC? What is the role of Museveni? You know, you must approach these things in a much more serious way. What does the international community want with DRC? Do they really want peace? Sending their troops
Do you mean there are people who can go into war for business, really, in this
War is
day
a
and time?
business. War is a business.
Not humanity, being human?
No, war is a business.
Even UN?
War is a business. How many times do you want me to tell you? If an American president, four American presidents in succession pursued peace, like Jimmy Carter, arms dealers in America will deal with them. They'll get them out of power. You'll get out of power. One, Jim Carter. Another one, another Jimmy Carter. You'll get out of power. The arms dealers want you to create war in the world for them to sell their arms. It may be a kindergarten way of looking at things, but that's, I think, in my thinking, is true. So it is in the interest of certain quarters and persons and countries that DRC remains the way it is, so that they may exploit the resources within DRC.
What then do you make of this encounter that I had with a police officer? Let me have your first reaction to it. And he was actually supporting the move of KDF going into DRC and Somalia, saying these were people who are living in the barracks. There was no war going on, being fed, spending government money, shining boots and all that, while the police were now the people who are going to that borderline under the anti-terror police, theft unit, and other border patrol units, therefore. Do you see that there is some sense in that argument?
You see, we have adapted institutions, organs, governments, and many other things. We have copied from the world, but we rarely adapt to suit our situation. It may not be necessary for us to have an army, really speaking, in the modern age. But now that we have it, because we must have it, we can adopt the army to suit our environment. Why can't they be engaged in civil work?
Like the one Buddy was doing?
Yeah, to say that the army is idle is actually an abuse on the army, because these people do a lot of work, civil, but we can increase it. So that if you think they're idle, then they can be seen visibly to be doing work. And so to take them to Somalia as a way of making them active is an insult to our army.
And it was coming from an officer, imagine.
No, that officer is misguided and misinformed. The army is not idle. The army is doing a lot of work. They can do more. I want them to do more. We need even to pass a law like the American, I think, is it the Industrial Act or something, Industrial Production Act, something like that, something along that line, so that they are legally involved in certain aspects of our development. You know, social works, you know, construction works. They should be involved legally. We need to create the laws to enable that to happen.
I see.
But then also, we don't need to go into Somalia to protect ourselves here. We can make our border secure.
How so?
But that's the work of the military.
It has the ability and...
They are paid to think. They are equipped to think and to act. That's not my work. I only know that the work of the army is to protect our borders. They don't have to go to another country to protect us here.
Helping a brother.
If you are a crook, we shall make sure you remain in your country and do what you want to do, that you don't cross to our borders. And if you come, we deal with you. We don't need to go to your country.
Well noted, sir. Kenyans are eagerly waiting to cross over to 2023, and in there we are seeing millions of unemployed Kenyan youth literally cast in hope that the new year will bring good tidings in terms of sustainable and rewarding jobs. It is for that reason that I ask. We've actually seen the scrapping of the Kazi Mtaani initiative, and the president has said he'll direct that particular lot of youth towards the affordable housing scheme, where they'll have at least skills enhancement and somewhat a sustainable and rewarding job in terms of remuneration and also long-term solutions to unemployment. Would you say that indeed that the goose to lay the golden egg when it comes to solving unemployment in Kenya?
Well, not quite. Not quite.
Would you say that is tokenism?
You see, first of all, the two are not mutually exclusive. You cannot say, in order to have youth on housing project, you must stop this one. There will be more youth that can be absorbed in the Kazi Mtaani and what do you call affordable housing. You will still have millions of others. So they cannot be mutually exclusive. This can run as this runs, except this one. You can only say this one doesn't make sense. This one of Kazi Mtaani doesn't make sense. I've never supported idea of boys and girls idling. Job and labor is supposed to bring dignity to the person.
Dignity in labor, you say?
Yeah, dignity in labor. If you're idling on the road with slashers, what dignity is that?
Right.
You put them in productive sectors.
But looking at some of the efforts that this new administration has put in place, particularly to aid in matters improving the cost of living and unemployment, like now the one that we've just mentioned, would you say that they are going the tokenism way and short-term interventions, which are quite populistic, other than doing the long-term and medium-term interventions?
Even affordable housing, it can't work. Because you are not solving the first thing you must solve. For there to be serious affordable housing projects going on, you need to solve the land issue, first of all. So long as land is still being held for speculation, so long as land is still something you sell and buy in a municipality, in a city, talk about affordable housing, just hot air. We must do what is done in cities and municipalities, which there is no land available for holding, for speculation. There is no land for buying or selling. There should be no land you can buy in Nairobi or sell. It shouldn't be there. All land should belong to an authority like City of Nairobi, which allocates you for a specific purpose. You come with the plans, they approve, they give you land. You do that within a specified time, according to specifications. If you don't follow the specifications, they demolish the project. If you delay the time, they allocate it to somebody else. Period. Then land will cease to be a factor in the cost of a house. To the extent that land is still being bought and sold in Nairobi, you can never talk of affordable housing. It is still hot air.
Hot air, you say?
Yeah.
All right, so as we come to the tail of this conversation, let me know of this. We've seen politicians say during campaign times that they are holding the best interest of the Mwananchi at heart. They have been in office, most of them new ones, for close to 100 days now, actually over 100 days now. And the question is, this time round, judging within that short period of time, would you say that somewhat, as a senior citizen, reading through their movements, these fine actions, that this time round is not about plenty being found within their stomachs, but rather within our borders and those jurisdictions that the electorate actually voted for them?
The first 100 days are not very encouraging. They don't show we have a good future. There's like a false start. I understand running government is bigger than these guys thought. They are still finding their bearing. We'll forgive them. But if what they have done so far is anything to go by, then the future is very, very bleak.
What do you make of those authoritative executive orders? Don't you think that signals a president will go to the ground with gravitas to turn around the welfare?
I've not seen an executive order that excites me. I've not seen one that makes sense to me.
In 6 months, this will happen.
Like
in
what?
4 months.
Which one? Which executive order I've seen? I've not seen any that shows me there's a future coming. All I'm seeing is tokenisms and populist moves.
And power display, you say?
And also things to indicate there are outside forces pushing government into acting.